Welcome, dear dreamers, to Dreamy Tales Universe. Tonight, let yourself drift away into a world of magic and wonder as we bring you the timeless tale of Snow White. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a queen who longed for a child. One winter's day, as she sat by her window, sewing and watching the snowflakes fall, she pricked her finger. A single drop of blood fell onto the snow, and she wished, "If only I had a daughter with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony." Not long after, her wish came true, and she gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. She named her Snow White. But, as fate would have it, the queen fell ill and passed away, leaving the king heartbroken. A year later, the king remarried. His new queen was breathtakingly beautiful but consumed by vanity. She possessed a magical mirror, and every day, she would stand before it and ask, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" For years, the mirror would reply, "You, my queen, are the fairest of them all." And the queen was content. But as Snow White grew older, she became more and more beautiful. And one day, the mirror gave a different answer. "My queen, you are fair, it is true, but Snow White is fairer than you." The queen's heart filled with envy, and from that moment, she despised the young princess. Determined to rid herself of Snow White, she called upon a huntsman and ordered him to take the girl deep into the forest and end her life. But as the huntsman looked into Snow White's innocent eyes, he could not go through with it. Instead, he let her go and told her to run far away and never return. Lost and frightened, Snow White wandered through the dark woods until she came upon a tiny cottage. Inside, everything was small but neat, as if belonging to 7 tiny people. Exhausted, she lay down on one of the little beds and fell fast asleep. When the sun set, the owners of the cottage returned. They were 7 dwarfs who worked in the mines nearby. Upon finding the sleeping maiden, they were astonished. When she awoke and told them her story, they took pity on her. "You may stay with us," they said kindly, "but promise to be careful. The queen will not rest until she finds you." Snow White promised, and so she lived happily with the dwarfs, helping them keep their home in order. A gentle reminder, dear listeners, it takes a lot of effort to bring these soothing tales to you. If you're enjoying this story, please take a moment to subscribe and support this channel. Now, let's continue our tale. Meanwhile, the wicked queen once again asked her mirror, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" And to her horror, it replied, "My queen, you are fair, it is true, but Snow White, beyond the mountains with the 7 dwarfs, is fairer than you." Enraged, the queen disguised herself as an old peddler woman and set off to find Snow White. When she arrived at the cottage, she offered the girl a beautiful lace bodice. The moment Snow White tried it on, the queen pulled the laces tight, causing the girl to collapse. The dwarfs returned just in time, loosening the laces and reviving her. Realizing the queen's deceit, they warned Snow White never to speak to strangers again. But the queen was relentless. She returned, this time with a poison comb. She convinced Snow White to try it, and as soon as it touched her hair, she fell unconscious. Again, the dwarf saved her by removing the comb. Furious, the queen devised one last, wicked plan. She took a rosy red apple, laced it with deadly poison, and disguised herself once more. When Snow White saw the apple, she hesitated, but the queen cut it in half, offering only the untainted side for her to see. Trusting the old woman, Snow White took a bite. Instantly, she fell to the ground, lifeless. When the dwarfs found her, they were heartbroken. Unable to bury her, they placed her in a glass coffin in the forest, where she lay in eternal slumber, untouched by time. One day, a prince happened upon the clearing and was struck by her beauty. He begged the dwarfs to let him take her to his castle. As his servants carried the coffin, they stumbled, dislodging the piece of apple from her throat. Snow White gasped, opened her eyes, and awoke. The prince was overjoyed. He asked for her hand in marriage, and Snow White, grateful and enchanted by his kindness, agreed. The wicked queen, upon hearing that Snow White was alive and well, attended the royal wedding out of curiosity. But when she arrived, she saw Snow White, more radiant than ever, and the magic mirror no longer favored her. Overcome by her own jealousy, she collapsed, and that was the last anyone ever saw of her. And so, Snow White and the prince lived happily ever after, surrounded by kindness, love, and the warmth of the 7 dwarfs who had once given her shelter. This beautiful tale of Snow White originates from the Brothers Grimm, a collection of folklore first published in Germany in the early 19th century. It is a story of jealousy and innocence, kindness and resilience, and above all, the triumph of good over evil. Thank you for listening to Dreamy Tales Universe. If you enjoyed this tale, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us continue to bring you these magical bedtime stories. Until next time, may your dreams be filled with wonder and light. Good night. Now that you've enjoyed a soothing bedtime story, it's time to relax even deeper and drift into a restful sleep. Find a comfortable position, close your eyes, and take a slow, deep breath in and out. Let go of the day's thoughts, worries, and tension. This is your time to unwind, to embrace tranquility, and to surrender to the gentle embrace of sleep. Let's begin by focusing on your breath. Take a deep breath in, filling your lungs completely, and now, slowly exhale, releasing any tension. Again, inhale deeply, letting calmness fill your body, and exhale, letting go of all the stress of the day. Now, gently bring awareness to your body. Start with your feet. Feel them become warm and heavy, completely relaxed. Move up to your legs, letting any tension melt away. Your hips and lower back are soft, sinking into comfort. Your abdomen and chest rise and fall effortlessly with each breath, releasing any tension with every exhale. Your shoulders, arms, and hands are completely at ease, the weight of the day dissolving. Your neck and jaw unclench, your forehead smoothens, and your entire face relaxes as a gentle wave of calm washes over you. Now, imagine yourself standing in a beautiful meadow under a vast night sky. The stars above twinkle softly, casting a gentle glow. A cool, refreshing breeze brushes against your skin. You take slow, peaceful steps along a soft path, feeling the earth beneath your feet. The air is crisp, carrying the scent of night-blooming flowers. Fireflies dance in the distance, glowing like tiny stars. With each step, you feel lighter, calmer, at peace. The worries of the day fade away as you immerse yourself in this serene, dreamlike world. Ahead, a gentle stream flows, reflecting the moonlight like silver ripples. You sit by the water's edge, listening to its soothing melody. The rhythmic flow of the water syncs with your breath, deepening your sense of relaxation. As you sit by the stream, you begin to let go of everything weighing on your mind. Each thought drifts away like leaves floating down the river, disappearing into the distance. You feel lighter, completely at ease, as if cradled by the universe itself. Your eyelids grow heavier, and your body surrenders to deep relaxation. A soft whisper in the breeze tells you, you are safe. You are at peace. You are ready for deep, restful sleep. The stars above seem to glow even softer, watching over you, guiding you into a night of healing rest. Now, allow yourself to drift even deeper. With each breath, your body becomes heavier, sinking into the warmth and safety of your bed. A warm golden light surrounds you, filling you with a deep sense of comfort and love. This light wraps around you like a gentle cocoon, protecting you as you surrender to sleep. Every muscle is at ease. Every breath is slow and steady. Your mind becomes quieter, thoughts fading into soft whispers. There is nothing left to do, nowhere to be, just this moment of pure rest. The space between thoughts grows longer, until there is only stillness, peace, sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are at peace. Your body is healing. Your mind is at rest. You are floating, drifting deeper into sleep. Sleep well, dear dreamer. May your night be filled with beautiful dreams, and may you wake up feeling refreshed and renewed. Until next time, rest well.